Alright, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And whether you're new here or you've been with me for a while but haven't yet subscribed, either way, if you like today's video and you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please take the time to like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified when I have new videos go up. So today, I want to talk about something actually pretty fucking hilarious. James Gunn has finally admitted that there is no plan for the DCU. There never was, that there was never a plan for the DCU. So I'm going to pull up what I have here, and then I'm going to talk about it. And this comes from GamesRadar.com, and it is, and I'm going to read to you, what James Gunn said here, because it's so fucking ridiculous. It's laughable at this stage. So the DCU officially began, and I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read, like little snippets here and there, but I'm going to, but I'm obviously going to, I'm going to break everything down, and I'm going to talk about it. So the DCU officially began with Creature Commandos in late 2024. Though elements of the Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle, which are both part of the old DCEU, are still considered canon. Now, this is what James Gunn had to say about that. Gunn had previously stated, Gunn has previously said that a Suicide Squad is like an imperfect memory, whatever the fuck that means, and Blue Beetle is the first canon character of the DCU. And this is what, and James Gunn was asked about canon, like what's canon and stuff like that in the DCU, and this is what he said. I've been thinking a lot about, this a lot in regards to the Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle, and I've been meaning to rewatch both with an eye towards that, knowing what I know now, almost 3 years into the DCU, with a couple more years of scripts being actively filmed or created, Gunn said on Threads. Maybe after Man of Tomorrow, Jennifer Holland and Steve Age and I can get together for a special couple podcast to discuss. What do you guys think is potential? What do you guys think is potentially or definitely not canon from the Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle? Now, let me explain how fucking ridiculous this is. How many times did you see Kevin Feige, come out and say, how many, like when the Infinity Saga was going on, right? How many times did we see Kevin Feige or Bob Iger, come out and ask us what we think is canon? How many times did we see, Zack Snyder ask, ask fans what they think is canon? I mean, how many... it's laughable at this stage. This right here proves that they had no plan to begin with, because remember, I talked about in a previous video, I talked about in a previous video how originally Gunn and Safran said they had an 8 to 10 year plan. When this whole thing originally started, they said they had an 8 to 10 year plan. Then later on, they retracted those claims and said they had a 6 to 8 year plan. Now they're basically saying that they have no plan. Because remember, guys, I've talked about in previous videos what the original DCU slate was. That there were 5, I think that there were like 5 shows announced and 5 movies announced. Guys, Batman Brave and the Bold has no script and no release date. Waller has no script and no release date. James Gunn just recently came out and said The Authority is not happening anytime soon. And, Superman Man of Tomorrow was not part of the, was not part of the original DCU slate. Supergirl, as of tomorrow, Supergirl comes out in 2 months. And that movie has had 7 test screenings. Because nobody down at DC Studios has any fucking clue how to do their job. None. James Gunn and Peter Safran have no, have no fucking clue what they're doing. This is not. This is, this is laughable. This is, this is completely and totally incomprehensible at this, and we're 3 years into the DCU, and we still don't have a phase 1. Guys, when the MCU was going on during phase 1, we had a phase 1. We knew exactly, what Marvel and Disney, were building up to. Guys, we already knew by the time, the Incredible Hulk, by the time, the 2008, Incredible Hulk movie, by the time this movie rolled around, we knew exactly what they were building up to, and that was the Avengers. We knew exactly what Marvel and Disney were building up to, and it was the Avengers. And then later on, and then obviously, later on, when they started revealing, Thanos and all this other stuff, we knew exactly what they were building up to, and that was the Infinity Gauntlet. Somebody please explain to me what the DCU is building up to right now. Please, chime off below in the comments and explain to me what the DCU is building up to at this stage, and at this day and age, when we don't even have a phase 1 complete, and it's already been 3 years. Guys, Batman Brave and the Bold has no script and no release date. Booster Gold has no script and no release date. Wonder Woman Paradise Lost has no script and no release date. The Authority has already been canceled. James Gunn confirmed it. Clayface wasn't part of the original DC slate. Guys, this is a mess. This entire DCU is one big fucking mess. Now, people are going to say, oh, don't worry, there is a plan. No, there's not. And this proves it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Chime off below in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you like today's video, please take the time to like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified when I have new videos go up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.